You know, I always think it's funny seeing these comments that Shib is dying or it's dead or it's fading away and going to zero, because Shib has done an incredible job, even from last market cycle to this market cycle, of remaining resilient. And what we're actually seeing during these times is Shib gain fundamental strength. And that's what you want to see. When the market is bad, you don't want to see people heading for the hills. You want to see foundations continue to improve. And I stumbled across this interesting article that I wanted to show you guys that actually breaks this down in a very good way. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So yes, this article was titled, "Can Shib Crash to Zero in this Bearish Market?" And what it did was say that it's very unlikely to see $0 anytime soon. So first of all, strong historic support at 4010, even during these past downturns. And that's why I find it kind of interesting that people keep talking about, oh, yep, Shib's going to add back a zero. It's going to add back a zero. I'm like, are you sure about that? Because even as we've gone on times where there have been the Wazer X exchange hack, when there's been just this complete bearish sentiment in the crypto market, as we've gone through black swan events, Shib has not been able to actually add back a zero. And that's, again, a testament to the community. It's the strong foundation of support that has continued to hold Shib broken out above some of those levels that we last saw all the way back in the early part of February of 2024. All right. Now, secondly, this talks about the burn mechanism. Token burns continue to reduce supply, slowly boosting price over time. And yes, we know that a lot of these burns have really been low. Like, for example, the last couple of burns, just a billion or so. That's quite small compared to 589 trillion. But again, a big part of that has to do with, again, the community, the conviction, the removal of supply from exchanges. I think that carries a lot more weight than the burns, frankly. And the fact that most people are unwilling to sell Shiba Inu for anything less than 1 cent is a big reason why Shib continues to be successful. You don't see that kind of conviction in most assets. Shib is kind of a unique case. Now, what this also says is the Shibarium launch. The Layer 2 chain adds real use cases and value to the Shib ecosystem, the loyal community, which we've talked about, right? Now, what I did find interesting was this did talk about, could Shib crash to 501? In fact, dropping off that zero. It said if there was a total market collapse, a loss of community trust, Shibarium or ecosystem failure, whale dumping. Now, what I will say is that as far as the Shibarium or ecosystem failure and the loss of community trust, right now, we need to understand that what's going on with the Shib ecosystem is kind of its own deal. We don't really talk about it much here on the channel anymore. Yes, if they sign partnerships, that's cool. If they take steps forward, awesome. But right now, Shiba Inu does not depend on the Shib ecosystem. And in fact, just to kind of bring this to light, there was in fact a very strange post by Shitoshi that came out, I think it was a couple days ago. And I don't know if you guys read it. You should definitely check this out. But I think he might be going off the rocker just a little bit. And this is part of the reason that a lot of the Shiba Inu community has distanced themselves from the Shib ecosystem, because we don't really understand what is going on over there. I understand what they're trying to do, but the way that they're trying to do things is just bizarre. I even wrote a comment on here, said, okay, I'm taking over. let me just run the Shib ecosystem. We'll get this thing up and going. We'll get massive burns taking place. We'll get big partnerships and adoption. And obviously I'm just joking, but hey, if the opportunity arises, we can make Shiba Inu great once again. But the point I'm trying to make is that right now, Shib it kind of stands on its own, all right? It's made it through major exchange hacks. It's made it through bankruptcies that have led to trillions of Shib being dumped by something like Voyager. We have made it through the bear market cycle. What you are continuing to see from Shiba Inu is strength and conviction and longevity. It's now become an asset that has been around for almost 5 years, that is so far incredibly up from its launch price, that doesn't want to keep dropping to the downside, that is continuing to gain dominance as time goes on, that has insane levels of optics around the world. I mean, these are all things that are frankly working in Shiba Inu's favor right now. And once the market does in fact get popping, that is when Shib can once again show the strength that it has continued to develop over time. All we have to do is frankly just be patient. We just have to wait, let things continue to get better, let sentiment go on the rise, and we're in good shape. So that's what I got. That's all I had to share with you guys. I appreciate you as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts, but have a great day. Catch you in the next one. Take care.